Hey guys, good to see you here. I'm so glad that you came over to my blog to see what the next topic is that I am just dying to share with you, right? So this is my first vlog rather than just posting the blog post and writing it. I know some people prefer to read a blog post, but then there are some people who prefer to just watch a video or maybe listen to it while you're cleaning the house or cooking dinner or cleaning up or something like that. So just wanted to try something a little bit different. But today, what I really want to talk to you about are 5 ways that you can control cost when you're doing a remodel. So a lot of us are, again, working from home so much more nowadays. We're noticing things that we want changed in our homes, whether it's our kitchen or our bathrooms or just, revamping a bedroom, right? And so if we're considering doing these projects, we know that it's going to cost money, right? So we always want to make sure that we have a plan. We want to make sure that we have a realistic level of investment that we're going into this project with, right? So we want to make sure we're doing some homework and some research and really planning things out, being intentional and having a strategy for our remodeling projects. So again, I want to share with you 5 ways that you can control these costs. And they're very simple. It's nothing riveting. It is not rocket science. It's not something crazy off the wall that's going to make your mind explode. But I really believe that these things are going to help you out. So I have some of my notes in here just to make sure that I don't miss anything. But let's dive into it and let's talk about it. So the first one, the first way would be examine your current layout. And what I mean by that is if you're, for instance, doing a bathroom remodel, look at how it's currently laid out right now, right? So look at the walls, look at where the toilet's placed, where the vanity's placed, where if there's any shelving or maybe if you want some shelving. So you really want to take a look at the space and really see what is going to work in that space. A lot of times we'll go into design showrooms or even just a Home Depot or Lowe's and we kind of fall in love with what we see, right? And we're like, oh my gosh, this would look amazing in my space. But you got to think it's a mock-up, it's a display, in a 30,000 square foot, store or warehouse. And so it may not necessarily fit or function for what you have in your own home. So it's so important to make sure that you examine the space, look at what can be possible, look at what things you might, what might be some limiting factors in preventing you from being able to get the space that you want. But conversely, consider elements that you've always wanted that maybe you don't have in your current space that maybe you could possibly incorporate into that space, right? So that's another reason why you want to make sure that you maybe consult with a design professional or some sort of design pro so that they can kind of look at what you're planning and what your dream space looks like, and they can kind of guide you and help you and tell you, what, this is really doable, this is possible, or what, maybe not. I think that might be a little, a bit of a stretch, and here's why. And so they can give you the why behind that, right? So examine your layout. Number 2, keep your existing footprint. Okay, so remember, we're talking about ways you can control your remodeling costs. So a lot of times if we keep the existing layout, if we can, if there's really no major changes where you want to knock down this wall and add this and add that, or, recess this into the wall or go and, take it all the way down to the studs and you want to do all of these different things, right? A lot of times when we're able to keep the existing footprint, we can save a lot of money, y'all. I'll give you an example, again, sticking with the bathroom example. What if you now start moving the plumbing, you're moving electrical, again, you're knocking down walls and you're taking the toilet, you're moving it from here to there. You're moving where the existing plumbing, electrical joists, all of that, right? That's going to cost you a lot of money versus if you are able to keep the existing footprint of your space, Now you're just talking about paying for materials, you're paying for labor, you're not paying for that extra cost of the labor and the extra materials that are going to be needed in order to now move the plumbing, electrical, and all that good stuff. So really consider keeping your existing footprint if you can. A third way to help control costs is to choose cost-effective materials. And what I mean by that is, we all have an idea of what our dream space could be. Oh my gosh, I love the marble bathrooms that I'm looking at on Pinterest. And I love all the different finishes and the mixing of the metals and doing all this. And I want that super cool toilet that has a remote on it and it has this, sensor where if I walk by now the lid opens up and everything, right? Well, then you start looking at the price tag and it's like $5,000 for that really cool toilet. So you really need to evaluate what it is that you want. Again, it goes back to really being strategic, planning ahead of time, really doing homework, pricing the things out so you can have maybe a general idea of how much these things are going to cost. You can have a high-low range, right? You might not necessarily have the cost right down to the penny, but then you have an idea and you kind of know what you're working with. So when you're choosing and selecting your materials, you can still get a marble look and not pay for real marble. You have beautiful, beautiful porcelain tile that looks exactly like marble, but you're maybe going to pay maybe a quarter or a third of the price that you would for real marble, right? So you really, again, you want to do your homework. You want to look at what's out there because there may be so many different materials out there that you didn't even know existed that's going to cost you less than what you were looking at for the real marble or for the real for all of that. You can still get the look but not have to pay those higher prices. Okay, so be choosy in your materials, and you can still get the beautiful look for a less expensive price, right? You just gotta do some homework and know where to look and really do some digging. The fourth way to control costs in a remodel is to please watch those timelines. Y'all, we are at this very moment in time, the delays are unprecedented, right? The foam shortages, the pricing going up for wood and steel and all these different items, right? The delays and the back orders with furniture pieces and all of that stuff. I mean, it's just unreal how COVID kind of threw a wrench in all that, right? So even factories and manufacturers shutting down for a few days, it still takes them a while to get things back up and running to their normal timelines and their normal speeds, right? So we have to wait for that to kind of catch back up again, but it is costing a lot more money and it's causing a lot more delays, more delays than we've ever seen, right? In this industry. So you want to watch those timelines. So when you're planning out your project, you want to make sure that you're able to order materials right in advance when you can, and make sure that you are very organized in scheduling your trades, right? So you want to make sure that if you're able to order those materials ahead of time, so now sometimes if those materials, that specific tile that you want might be on back order for a couple months or whatever, then you can kind of look back and see, okay, you know what? I don't need to schedule the tile setter right now, but I'm going to get with my tile guy and I'm going to contact him because he probably has other jobs and other projects he's working on. He's not just going to be working on mine. So I'm going to try coordinating that, right? But you also want to make sure that in that instance, so we'll stick with the bathroom example, you're not going to schedule your tile guy before you schedule your plumber. You got to make sure that the plumbing is right, your drains are set properly, that you know where you're going to have your shower system and any type of body sprays or anything like that. All of the plumbing has to be taken care of before you even think about having the tile guy come in there and set the tile. So again, if you don't know much about that, again, I would highly recommend you get with a design professional, some sort of design pro who can help guide you in that area. So watching those timelines, I think it's easy to start a project and, a lot of us end up not finishing the project, or we just let it go. And then it ends up never either getting done. And then by the time we try to do it, the cost of materials has gone up again. You're going to have to get new bids for contractors and stuff. And then most likely their prices have gone up. So it's not going to be what you originally budgeted for in the beginning, because you let so much time go by before, from the time where you planned on the project to where you actually started executing it. So again, watch those timelines. That can help you save money in the long run. And then lastly, number 5, bringing it all together, consider hiring a design professional. Of course, because I'm a designer, I'm biased, but really looking at it, because we know this is what we do every day. We have relationships with vendors, with suppliers, with trades. We know where to spend and where to save, right? We can guide you. We're the ones that can take a look at your space, and then take a look at what you're dreaming about and try to marry the two. And if we're not able to, we can help tell you why. We are your guide, right? To guide you to where we're helping you get the space that you really want. But you're doing it again with intentionality. You're doing it because you're planning, you have a strategy. You're not just diving into it without doing any research or anything like that. So we're there to guide you. We're there to help you. We're there to educate you, because this is what we do every day. And so that could potentially save you a ton of money in the long run, because you're not going to make those costly mistakes. Because you just went in there and you didn't know what you were doing. Again, we're there to help you avoid those costly mistakes, right? Especially in a remodel project where you're going to be spending a lot of money anyways. So there it is, 5 simple ways to help control your remodeling costs. Again, you don't want your remodel to control you. You want to be the one that remains in control, that controls how much you're spending, that you're controlling how much you're spending on the labor and materials and all that good stuff. And by doing that, you're examining your layout, you're checking it out, making sure that, hey, what is possible? What would I like to do versus what is realistic for me to do? Number 2, maybe we just keep the footprint. We can still get beautiful tile. So that means because we're keeping the existing footprint, we're not moving plumbing and electrical and all that jazz, right? Now we can kind of splurge on that really beautiful tile that we've been eyeing for the last couple months, right? We can really make the space look high end, because we're able to put our money into those materials and things that we want, because we're not shifting everything around and knocking down walls and expanding the space and all of that. And then number 3, again, choosing cost-effective materials. We don't necessarily have to get the real marble. We don't have to get the super expensive stone or plumbing fixtures, right? We can actually still get a very high-end, beautiful look for less money, because we were very selective in our materials. We did our homework. We looked at it. We were able to touch it, feel it, take samples home and really kind of look at it and kind of live with it for a little bit to see if that's something that we really like. And then again, we're going to be careful, because we're going to watch our timelines. We're not going to just start this project and then just kind of let it go and not have a plan, right? We're going to be strategic in what we do. We're going to plan out our trades. We're going to plan out, when we're ordering our materials and all that good stuff. And then finally, we're going to really consider hiring a design pro, because we don't want to make those costly mistakes. We want to do it right, and we want to do our remodeling project right from the start. We don't want to get halfway into it and realize, oh my gosh, we blew it. We didn't even think about that, or this was an afterthought. And then now you're living with regret instead of enjoying a beautiful space that you've been wanting for a long time. So again, I hope this was very helpful for you. I actually have a guide that I put together that is called 5 Ways to Control Your Remodeling Costs. But then I also included, if you wanted to do furnishings, if it's not necessarily a bathroom or a kitchen or something like that, maybe you want to redo your master bedroom, or you want to refresh your guest bedroom. Well, then I give you kind of a good, better, best on pricing for different furniture pieces. You know, what is the sofa cost? You know, if I really wanted to redo all the furnishings in a room, what is it going to cost me to do buy a new sofa, to buy some end tables, to buy a coffee table? What does decor look like? What's the cost of an area rug? I really don't know. This guide helps you, so it gives you a general idea of what a good, better, best. So it's going to give you a range. It's going to give you kind of that high-low range that I talked about at the beginning of the video. So again, it's super, super helpful information, some really, really good nuggets that I believe you guys can glean from this guide. You can actually, if you go to my website, I'll leave the link. Well, actually, you should already be at my website, but you can, when you go to my website, it's a pop-up, and so you can put your email address in there and then just be able to download the guide right away. You don't have to worry about all that. So really good stuff, valuable information that I really want everybody to have. I love to be able to educate people and to let them know, you know, what is it that you're getting into? You know, what is it that you're getting into? Really, I can't tell y'all how important planning is, especially when you're doing any type of a remodeling or design project. So again, I am here to help. If you still need assistance or you have extra questions, please feel free, you know, don't hesitate to reach out. You know, I'll leave you my contact information. There's also a contact form on my website that you can fill out. And I would be happy to get on the phone and chat with you. So again, I hope this video was of help to you. I hope you guys are well, staying safe and healthy and just enjoying your days. And I will see you in the next video. So stay tuned. Take care. Bye-bye.